Hi, I'm Suzanne, and I'm going to show you bridge pose. Bridge pose happens on your back, so it's a reclined position. I'm going to take my hair out. So ponytails, no ponytails. You want the back of your head flat. Let's start with your arms by your sides. I'm going to demonstrate 3 different variations here. So the first one is going to be a rolling bridge. I call it rolling bridge. In all 3 variations, the feet are about hip-width distance apart and the heels are underneath the knees. I'm going to begin by moving in and out of the pose dynamically. So I'm going to rotate my arms so the palms face each other. You can also do it with the palms down. I'll start this way. And I'm going to synchronize, rolling my hips up, lifting with my tailbone. And you'll feel the low back and mid back come up. My arms are reaching up at the same time, up and overhead, as far back as I comfortably can go. That was an inhale. And as I exhale, I'm going to lower down from top to bottom, bringing the arms and the pelvis down. And then I'll do that a few times. Inhale, lift the arms up, hips up. I want to keep the knees and feet parallel, the weight even on both of your feet. Try not to let the knees veer out to the side and roll to the outer edge of the feet. Try to keep everything rooted. And when you're coming up, you want to keep the low back nice and long, so lengthening the sitting bones toward the backs of the knees. And you'll also notice that as you come up and you roll up, that you roll toward the tops of your shoulders. And then I'm going to bring the arms down, and I'm going to show a variation with robot arms. I really like this in my own body. So I'm going to scoot over toward my right shoulder, I'm going to lean on that right shoulder, and I'm going to roll that left shoulder head underneath me, and that lifts the shoulder blade underneath my upper back. I'm going to pin that, and I'm going to roll to the left side, and I'm going to do the same thing on the right. I want to keep the chest lifting up toward the chin. You want to make sure that you're not flattening the back of your neck by hard pulling the chin to the collarbones. Keep the natural curve of your lumbar spine, of your cervical spine, sorry about that. And you also want to make sure that you've got some lift right at the base of the cervical spine. There's a big bony projection right at the base of the neck. It's your 7th cervical vertebra, and you want to have that lifted up away from the floor. So I press my outer arms down into the floor to keep my chest lifted, and then press my feet down into the floor. And I'm looking for a nice even arc from the base of my spine all the way to the top of my spine, or to C7 at least. The third variation I'm going to show you, so you come up, come down a few times, is taking a block, which I have over here on the side. I'm going to take my block and I'm going to prop it up right underneath my sacrum, and I'm going to lay my pelvis down. You can do this on the low height as well. I'm fairly comfortable on the medium height. This is on the flat bone at the top of the pelvis, not on my lumbar vertebra. And if it's uncomfortable for you, you can shift the block either toward your feet a little bit more or toward your head a little bit more. Somewhere in there is going to be a sweet spot that's pretty tolerable, pretty comfortable actually. And then I'm going to rotate my arms out so that the palms are open. I call this smiling the collarbones open. Collarbones are nice and open. Feet rest on the floor, and this is a resting version of supported bridge pose. It's also a restorative pose. So this is really good for just quieting the mind, relaxing at the end of a hard day. You are in an inversion. Ladies, if you're on your monthly cycle, just don't do this variation where you have the hips elevated. You don't want to be reversing the normal flow of menstruation up into the body cavity. You want to keep that flowing down. So don't do this during your period. And stay here as long as you feel comfortable. When you're done, lift your hips up the minimum amount you need to slide the block out. Lengthen your tailbone up toward the backs of the knees and roll those shoulders out and lower your spine from top to bottom. Once you get down onto the bottom, I like to just release a couple nice deep belly breaths to open up the back and the front of the belly. And then after that, draw the knees comfortably into the chest to stretch out the back. You can rock a little side to side if that feels good. The one thing when you're up in bridge pose, whether you're actively rooting down and lifting yourself like this, or whether you have the block underneath you, or whether you're taking the arms overhead, is not to turn your neck side to side when you're in this position. When you have the hips elevated, you have a kind of a stress, it could be a very stressful position for the cervical vertebra, and you don't want to turn your head side to side when you're elevated. So just reserve that till you come down. And once you're down, you can let the neck release. You can look and talk to your buddy over there if somebody's in the room with you. But you just want to take care of that, not lift up, or not turn sideways. All right, so that's it. I'm going to roll off to the side. Use my arms to press up. And there's your bridge pose. Thank you so much for watching. Namaste.